This will be the turning point for the Good Brothers, Luke Gallows, Karl Anderson, on Saturday, November 14th on pay-per-view and FITE TV. Civil War style, the South versus the North. And this time, the South will rise for Impact Wrestling Tag Team Gold. How good this is. Brothers, it is. Thank you, Good Brothers. And also, Rocky Romero is with us. This is so cool. The triple threat is here. Hey, guys, what's going on? Tell us about Turning Point, first of all.
Oh, my goodness. Well, it's Doc Gallows now, Good Brother, but I appreciate a great introduction. We are headed into Turning Point Saturday, November the 14th, available on the Impact Plus app. It's $7.99 a month. If you haven't signed up, I don't know what you're waiting on. It's got every pay-per-view in Impact Wrestling history. We're cranking out these great specials just like Turning Point, all kinds of awesome content over there. So jump on that Impact Plus app. But more importantly, Karl and I will be taking on the North for the Impact Wrestling Tag Team titles, the one set of World Tag Team titles that have eluded the Good Brothers. It'll complete the mantle. We got the ones from New York. We got multiple ones from New Japan Pro Wrestling, the IWGPs. Now it's time to put those Impact Wrestling Tag Team titles around our waist at Turning Point on the 14th of November.
See that? Luke is the ultimate pitch man. I know that I didn't even have to give an intro. I should just say, everybody, here's Luke Gallows. Hey, what's going on? And he's going to have that. You know what? And then tell me, guys, and Luke, you tell me. There's also a big event November 13th, correct?
There's a big event November 13th. You guys, who wants to start on that one? Because I can talk about it all day.
Well, it's TalknShopAMania 2, man. It's the rise of the torturer. It's available on the FITE app, worldwide pay-per-view all over the world at 10 p.m. Friday the 13th, man. It's going to be fun, man. It's Chico El Luchador versus Chavo Guerrero in a Lucha Libre death match where somebody's going to actually pass away and die in the match. Yeah. It's a ball. The main event is ball for ball, where Sex Ferguson versus Chad Dubat, and somebody has to actually rip the other's testicles out to win the match.
That's exactly
you got the Nature Boy Paul Lee. There's 3 new factions showing up. One of the factions' names we've already dropped in our teaser. It's Retribution.
Oh, yeah.
This is going to be fun, man. Sit back, relax, hang out, put the kids to bed, it's rated R, and have a cold beer, smoke some CBD oil, whatever you do, have fun, entertain yourself, and laugh.
So November 13th will be Talkmania 2, which is Luke Gallows, Karl Anderson's own pay-per-view event. And then November 14th is Impact Wrestling's Turning Point.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. Talk'n Shop A-Mania 2 is the name of our pay-per-view. It was born and bred out of our podcast, Talk'n Shop. You can listen to it every week. A new one drops every Sunday morning. We just had Big Bill Goldberg, Dumb Man, on there. You can listen to that wherever you listen to podcasts. But Talk'n Shop A-Mania 2 has some of the biggest stars in the history of professional wrestling in ways you've never seen them before. This is a parody. It's satire. Enjoy it. Laugh along with it. See the likes of Big Papa Pump, Scott Steiner, Chavo Guerrero, the Hurricane Helms, Brian Myers, Hornswoggle. Just the list goes on and on of current stars from the generation previous and up-and-coming guys, as well as our Minion Brigade out there putting on some of the best and worst professional wrestling you're ever going to see.
There's some really bad wrestling out here. It's going to be
it's going to be awesome.
Which is great.
Yep. All right, is it true that Scott D'Amore wanted to make this like a double-header weekend, and you guys were like, hey, well, we're doing our own thing, Scott. We'll see you on November 14th.
Man, it fell into place like that. I love that we have a doubleheader weekend, you know. We love to promote. We love to get our faces out there. And you're going to see 2 different sides of us. Friday night, you're going to see this alternate universe we've created for ourselves within Talk'n Shop and Talk'n Shop A-Mania, the rise of the torturer, all these awesome characters. And then Saturday night, we get serious. It's November the 14th. It's Turning Point. The World Tag Team titles are on the line. That's not something that Karl and I are taking lightly. It's time to show them who we are again, and that's exactly what we plan on doing at Turning Point.
Yeah, but I think Scott D'Amore wanted a piece of the pie on November 13th.
Scott D'Amore has an amazing cameo in Talk'n Shop A-Mania 2. He appeared in the original Talk'n Shop A-Mania back on August 1st. You won't believe what Scott D'Amore shows up and does on November the 13th, 10 p.m. on pay-per-view and via the FITE app.
Trust me, Scott D'Amore is an 8-figure brother. He is going to make sure he gets that box.
He's in there, baby.
Would you say Scott D'Amore is the 10th wonder of the world?
100%.
Yeah, he is absolutely.
He's the man.
He's all the wonders.
Hey, Rocky, let me get you in here and all. What's it been like just working with these two guys? And it's just so awesome to see how they've really carved a niche since coming to Impact Wrestling and doing a little bit more on their own outside of Impact Wrestling and what they're able to do, and just your involvement with all this.
I mean, these guys are both of my best friends outside of, of just wrestling, and we've traveled up and down, all over the world together in Japan, and, we have a great bond, and we started our podcast, like 4 weeks, before the pandemic started, and not knowing what kind of wild ride, the last 8 months have been, for everybody. So, we when the guys, left FWB, Gallows had this idea about doing this crazy pay-per-view Talk'n Shop A-Mania from his backyard, and he was basically like, you guys are in, or I'm going to do it without you guys, and we were like, wait a second, and and he coaxed us into doing it, and here we are now doing our second pay-per-view, from Gallows' house, and it's pretty amazing just to see, all that we've accomplished in the last 8 months, and it's a team effort, and it's cool to be a part of it, and everybody kind of fills in their own part of the team, and here we are.
It's interesting because then November 14th with Turning Point, and I'm wondering, and let me preface this by saying that the Good Brothers don't need any help, but I'm just curious, might we see Rocky Romero there on the 14th just in case the North tries something sneaky?
Well, we can say this. We've seen Rocky Romero appear on Access TV when we had our Full Keg special. We've seen some friendliness between Impact Wrestling and New Japan Pro Wrestling, where Rocky Romero is not only a performer but a high-ranking authority figure as well. So I don't know what to tell you about that, except anything can happen at Impact Wrestling, and the wrestling world's upside down right now as it is, in a good way. I think we're handling the pandemic better than anybody else in entertainment, quite frankly. So you never know what could happen November 14th at Turning Point. I, for one, would love to see more working relation between New Japan Pro Wrestling and Impact Wrestling. Those are two places that we want to call home for a very, very long time.
Yeah, and you're actually seeing some of that synergy, December 12th when the Super J-Cup debuts for New Japan Pro Wrestling on NJPW World and FITE TV. I mean, we're going to have Chris Bay representing Impact in the tournament for the Super J-Cup, which is just pretty wild. So, you never know. Like Doc said, you never know what might happen in Impact Wrestling.
Impact Wrestling, New Japan, it's like the Good Brothers and Rocky Romero are taking over the world.
We're doing our best, man.
That's our goal, brother.
Always.
Oh, that's so great. All right. Guys, with this Turning Point pay-per-view coming up and FITE TV, it's going to be at Skyway Studios in Nashville. What are your thoughts also just about the card? It's a really strong card. You guys are coming off a great event as well with Bound for Glory. Not only what has it been like with Impact Wrestling, but I've just seen an elevation in Impact Wrestling in the shows.
Man, I think that we have a lot of depth in that roster, from the young up-and-coming talent that can do amazing things to strong veterans who are in their absolute prime. You look at a guy like Eric Young. You look at, people I think forgot what Eric Young could do for the last couple of years. You look at a guy like Brian Myers, who I think people maybe never realized how great of a professional wrestler that he is. You look at somebody like Heath, who just oozes charisma. There's a ton of talent there. The tag team division is as strong as anything going in professional wrestling. It's a resurgence. It's a renaissance for it. Our knockouts division is strong. The X division, one of the most entertaining divisions in all of professional wrestling, which then crosses over into the Super Juniors, which Rocky was talking about earlier. So I just think it's an exciting time for us as performers and for the fans alike.
Karl, what are your thoughts about the North And obviously, I know you guys just want to destroy them and get those tag belts. But what are your thoughts of them and those two talents that are there? This Ethan Page, man, I see a lot of, not just, I mean, we're seeing the potential, but I see a lot in this guy's career moving forward.
You know, I say this a lot, but I didn't know much about them at all because when I was with the WWE, I didn't follow shit. Like I just didn't watch anything else. And I started hearing about the North, and I would, you know, lightly go like, "Who is the North? I don't care who they are. Who are they? I didn't care." Then we leave the WWE, and I started to kind of look them up, and I started to figure them out, and I'm like, man, these guys are pretty darn good. Then I got in the ring with them, and I was like, man, these guys are really good. Then I had a singles match with Josh Alexander, which is coming up next Tuesday, and I'm like, man, this guy can really go. Like they're both stars, man. Like Ethan Page is one of the most charismatic guys I've ever been around. Like watching him do promos, like watching his character evolve, and like he's in Talk'n Shop Mania too. The Karate Man makes an unbelievable cameo. This guy's got charisma to that out the ass, man. And Josh Alexander sometimes might get looked over because he's not as loud or as outspoken as Ethan is, but like that guy can really wrestle, man. And them two together as a team, they've kind of blown me away, and I'm really impressed with how good they are. And like to be able to have this opportunity to wrestle them in our careers right now, which I feel like we're in our prime and they're in their prime, it's pretty cool, man. It's a pretty fun thing for me to do.
Luke Gallows, is there a receipt coming for Ethan Page?
Oh, my goodness. If you didn't see it last Tuesday on Impact Wrestling, you got to go over to _BigLG. Watch that gif of him eating that super kick. You know, he slapped me in the face, and that's one thing you don't do. He barked up the wrong damn tree, so I had to hand up his ass. And that's what you get every Tuesday on Impact on Access TV. It airs 8 p.m. If you're not watching on Access TV, it's available for free on Twitch. And, you know, it all boils down to Turning Point on the 14th of November. You're going to see Karl have a great singles match coming up this Tuesday. And then, you know, we head into Turning Point on Impact Plus. And that's our chance to really let everybody know who we are. The serious side's coming back out. You know, aside from all the zaniness, you'll see the previous night of Talk'n Shop A-Mania. We're lacing them tight on November the 14th, and again, we're not leaving without those tag team titles. It's a Magic Killer, a 1, 2, 3, and we don't even need the 2 Sweet.
How interesting is it working, so to speak, behind the scenes? And what I mean by that is November 13th, because you guys are putting this whole thing together now. So it's not just about in-ring action and going out there, but you're actually putting the show all together. It's a fun time, yes, but what's it like being a part of creative, so to speak?
Man, we're working nonstop with this stuff because, you know, you came off of August 1st. We hoped it would be a massive success, and it was. And we're very proud of that. You can't rest on your laurels. You have to keep your foot on the gas pedal. You have to keep the momentum alive with stuff like this. And that's exactly what we're doing. So we took a break for a couple of days, and I said, guys, we got to start planning. And they were like, you got to be kidding me. Not yet. Let's do it next year, whatever. And then we weighed the pros and cons, and we jumped in the ocean, man, and we're going to swim with the sharks again. And, you know, this is going to be off the wall. It's TVMA. It's going to be the most ridiculous thing that you've ever seen in professional wrestling. But it's like we always say on the podcast, crack a beer, take off your pants, and watch the second worst pay-per-view ever. That's Talk'n Shop A-Mania 2.
You know, we love to be creative, man. Like, that's the kind of thing that's why we started the podcast. We like to be involved. We like to... that's why part of, you know, our time in WWE wasn't maybe as enjoyable as we wanted it to be, because we like to be in charge of our careers, and it's not about winning and losing. We just like to be able to have our say and to be able to have our own creative ideas and to be able to own this universe of Talk'n Shop A-Mania and actually have people get invested in it, like not start to follow like our story and be happy watching it and be entertained. Like, that's what we live for, man. That's like our drug, and that's the kind of shit that we just love to do. And so that's why Talk'n Shop Mania 2, if you can just get invested in this story, because there is a story to it, it's pretty damn fun, man. It's pretty fun to follow.
Rocky Romero, the good brother, is saying that Talk'n Shop A-Mania 2, the second worst pay-per-view. Rocky, what was the first worst pay-per-view?
Well, I mean, it seems like the first worst pay-per-view was Heroes of Wrestling, but something that beat that was Talk'n Shop A-Mania 1 that happened on August 1st. It's still available on the FITE app. haven't watched it, I suggest take this time to warm up for Talk'n Shop A-Mania 2 by watching the first. And it's just a really zany alternate universe that we've created, like the guys said. So much where our alter egos have really taken over in Chad Too Bad, Sex Ferguson, Chico El Luchador, and Chico El Luchador versus Chavo Guerrero Jr. in a Lucha Libre death match. Like the guy said, where somebody actually has to die.
That's right.
Cinematic death. So, the guys are a little upset with me because I kind of blew the budget, I should say.
Yeah, he spent all the budget on one segment.
One segment trying to create Chavo versus Chico in a cinematic way, where it's basically the Matrix Reloaded.
It really is.
It's going to be really cool for me. For a segment that I produced to put out there and see what the reactions from the fans, because it is a really, really crazy roller coaster. And Ball for a Ball is just insanity. These guys' humor, the back and forth between both of these guys is my favorite part of the first worst pay-per-view, Talk'n Shop A-Mania 1, during the Boneyard match. And that's my favorite part, just them going back and forth with, one-liners, back and forth. And it was fun to watch Twitter blow up and use those same one-liners that these guys were using. So it's like watching Step Brothers or, any kind of Will Ferrell movie where you have all these great one-liners and you want to keep using them and saying them and repeating them over and over and over again. So there's a lot of that going on in Talk'n Shop A-Mania 2, the second worst pay-per-view ever, Friday, the 13th of November, 10 p.m. Eastern, on in-demand pay-per-view and FITE TV.
Hey, listen, I preface this. I love Paul Heyman, but when you guys are talking about budget and what Rocky did, I think he went to the Paul Heyman School of Budgeting.
Yeah, I mean, if you love Paul Heyman, wait till you feast your eyes on Paul Heyman.
And you listen, you guys mentioned Chavo. Come on, you can't kill off Chavo. Do you know how many things he's involved in and what will just end right now if you get rid of Chavo? He's got so much that guy's got so much going on behind the scenes in all different facets of shows, pro wrestling type shows and other things, TV, movies. I'm like, well, you know what? That might be good for you guys, because then, hey, if he's gone, maybe you guys could step in and fill the role.
Hey, brother, listen, we got all kinds of tricks up our sleeve. Don't be surprised if a Talk'n Shop A-Mania movie's around the corner. You never know.
Yes.
And don't worry, if somebody dies in Talk'n Shop A-Mania, we can just bring them back. It's our skit.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we could do like an Undertaker thing, right? The great Rise of the Dead Man.
Anything
There you go, good brother.
That's why I'm the champion, probably forever.
Oh my gosh, couple more questions, we'll wrap this up. Hey, I'm wondering, it's such a big weekend, and it's a doubleheader weekend. Have you guys thought about giving this weekend a name?
Oh, we already have. Talk'n Shop A-Mania 2, brother. That's what matters. And you got a turning point coming out of that. Yeah, this is our weekend. It's Talk'n Shop owns it. We got, we lead in to Talk'n Shop A-Mania 2 that airs at 10 p.m. with Boozing with the Boys, which if you haven't done that, if you don't listen to our Talk'n Shop podcast, available wherever podcasts are found, new ones drop every Sunday morning. We just had Big Bad Bill Goldberg on there. We do a thing called Boozing with the Boys. It's on our Patreon, patreon.com/Talk'n Shop. You can come in the shop, you can drink with us, you can party with us virtually, and you can watch us warm up to view Talk'n Shop A-Mania 2 for the first time in its entirety together, right there on Boozing with the Boys. You can join the party. So we're going to kick it off with that. We're going to air this thing, and then we're going to head to that at Impact Wrestling Turning Point.
It's a Good Brothers weekend, everybody. That's what it is right there.
There it is.
All right, we'll get going on this. There's a couple things quickly we'll go over because to me it's so interesting. The Good Brothers special on Access TV during Bound for Glory week. How impressive was Francisco Frankie Chiazzo?
Oh, brother, amazing.
He is one of our guys. He is. He's a full blown. He's almost. Well, he is in our crew 100%. But he's almost like the fourth member of the Good Brothers. He might even get a spot on the podcast if he keeps it up because he's incredible.
just full-blown brother.
Y'all got to see it when he does the Goombas. He used to do the Goombas with 3 other guys, and it was Chiazzo is just great. He's been a long mainstay in Florida wrestling and all as well, so it's really cool. It was really cool to see that.
Yeah. I've known him for 15 years, man. We just spent a weekend with him in Tampa. We had a great time. It was great.
And trust me, he's gonna get a run if Talk'n Shop A-Mania 3 and 4 can continue. Like it's gonna be the turn of Frankie, man. He's gonna get a big push.
All right, now lastly, I know that, I guess, now I don't want to outspeak, we'll end it with this though, but I don't think Luke is a big baseball fan, but I know Karl has a baseball background, which is cool because if I'm right, there aren't many pro wrestlers that have a baseball background. Macho Man Randy Savage comes to mind. You're in good company, Karl Anderson. And it's interesting, I'm just wondering, Karl, did you watch the World Series, LA Dodgers, Tampa Bay, and what your thoughts were on it if you did?
So I got to say, right, so, you know, I live in Tampa now, so I knew that the Rays were in the World Series. I've got to be 100% honest. I understand that the Dodgers won. I did not follow it, man. I didn't follow baseball this year at all, man. And I don't know because, and I'm not trying to say I got out of baseball. I still love baseball. It's just been such a crazy year, man. I just didn't follow, brother.
With that said, you are a old school Pirates fan, though, from the Pittsburgh area, correct?
Well, no. So I grew up in North Carolina, and I was a big Braves fan growing up with the Atlanta Braves. And I moved to Cincinnati, and I followed the Reds for years. I moved to Cincinnati the year the Ken Griffey Jr. signed with the Reds, and Dante Bichette were all there in Cincinnati. But of course, I follow Andy Van Slyke and Barry Bonds and Bobby Bonilla. That when I was a kid, I liked the Pirates. But
Jay Bell.
Yeah, Jay Bell was there, and Jason. What's the catcher's name?
Oh, man, he's our guy. We can't remember his name right now.
But I was a huge baseball fan growing up my whole life, and then the last couple of years, Jason Kendall, big, huge fan. We went on this podcast, and he's a good guy too, man. Yeah,
oh yeah, Jason Kendall on the podcast. That's so cool. How did that work out, guys? And we'll let you go.
They contacted us. We were on his podcast, and they came over to ours. They have a great podcast with some baseball guys, NFL guys, some NHL guys that love pro wrestling. They love to get on and talk about it. I wish I knew the name of it right now, so I'd give them a plug, but I'm sure if you search it, you'll find it.
Yeah, Dietrich Young and Jason Kendall have a podcast. It was pretty cool to go in there and talk. We drank some beers, just bullshitted. It was fun. Yeah.
It is interesting because there's a lot of athletes and celebrities and actors that are really into pro wrestling too, that are fans of it.
Absolutely, man, and that's a cool part about Talk'n Shop A-Mania too. There's some great cameo appearances with celebrities from other facets of entertainment. You can see that too if you follow The Real Gimmicks, our new animated series. People from all over entertainment are coming on board on that, from all different facets of it. You're going to see more of it to come. So it's very exciting crossover stuff. We love it.
I know Dr. Ross is probably sitting there, hey, we got to get this done. We got to finish this up. So I'll finish this up with this. Luke Gallows, you're the ultimate pitch man. End it with what the weekend coming up, November 13th and 14th.
Oh, we're going to kick it off with Boozing with the Boys. I'm going to do it live from Savannah, Georgia. I'm going to do a watch-along party. It's going to be patreon.com/TalknShop. That's Boozing with the Boys. The lead-in to Talk'n Shop A-Mania 2. It's available on FITE TV. You can pre-order now, and on Worldwide Standard pay-per-view. Goes on the air at 10 p.m. Watch all the zaniness. Talk'n Shop A-Mania 2, The Rise of the Torturer. And then Saturday, we roll into Nashville, Tennessee for Turning Point, our Impact Plus special. Impact Plus, just $7.99 a month. Make sure you're signed up. Make sure you're tuned in. The Good Brothers, Karl Anderson and myself, taking on the North for the Impact Wrestling World Tag Team titles. We're coming home with a victory. We're going to complete the Triple Crown. We're going to crack open some Talk'n Shop wine on Sunday. It's available with all of our other Talk'n Shop things at tnsmania.com. If you buy a case or more right now, it's free shipping anywhere in the United States. Thanks for having us.
Good Brothers, Luke Gallows, Karl Anderson, Rocky Romero, and Francisco Chiazzo, wherever you are. Thank you all.